Okay, hey, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. It's about 1:15 on the 18th of July, and I'm taking a break here from my activities. I'm actually putting hay together. That's pretty wobbly, isn't it? But just had my lunch, and I want to kind of follow up on some of the briefings that I gave yesterday. The first one I put up, we had to take down and alter it because I showed a picture of the canceled check. Just to recap a little bit, we hold a license here. I'm sitting in our butcher shop, and we butcher chickens in this shop. And you have to have a license from the state of Michigan to do that. And this fella here refused to give that license, and it stemmed from a letter that we received last Saturday that said that we hadn't paid our fee. And when we produced I got it covered up now or I get yelled at. When we produced the canceled check, yeah, that's the routing number. I know so little about that stuff. We produced the canceled check, and they said, oh, well, there's something else. And we had to call this fella, Jim Patton. My wife called him, and he says, no, we're not going to issue you a license because you refused an inspection. And so I want to clarify that for you all, because it needs to be crystal clear in your minds who is right and who is wrong here, so you can make a decision on your own. But I have to take you down memory lane on a little walk back to 2015. 2015, I had 2 state police vehicles and 3 state policemen and 2 black sedans pull up in my driveway 9 o'clock in the morning. They pulled in fast like it was a drug bust or something. And they handed me a search warrant, which I have right here. I'm going to show these things so people can see this. This is the actual warrant to search my vehicles, my home, and my comm, or my computers, anything that could hold information, so my phones too, laptops, all that stuff. If you don't know that, when that happens, they take them, because they got to take them back to the lab to have them looked over. So you're without your ability to run your business once they take your stuff, and that's their game. This was signed, this warrant was signed by a judge here in the county, Judge Van Alst. I kind of think she got duped into this. This was actually put together by, get the title there, a food inspector. Okay, so the Fourth Amendment says that we are safe in our papers and our property and our homes from unreasonable search and seizure, right? So then you have to make a case to a judge that it's reasonable. Well, it has to produce something that keeps the public safe, I guess, or, you know, like if I was manufacturing drugs or weapons of mass destruction, something like that. But turns out what it was this picture was in a magazine up in Traverse City, and that's a picture of a friend of mine. He owns a restaurant up there, and that ham came from us. As you can see, that ham is not broken into. It's not cut into. That ham at that point was only a month or 2 old. And those hams, we let them hang for almost 2 years. So it wasn't cut into. He hadn't served it in his restaurant. There was no transaction of dollars on this whole thing. But apparently MDARD and Jim Patton up there, he must be perusing all the public periodicals to make sure if there's any food that shows up in those, that he's going to be on the trail to find out if it's legal food. And what they wanted to know was it processed here or at an MDA processing facility, which I do use one. I'm very happy with them. And instead of calling me and asking me, they generated a search warrant. So they were going to come into my home, go through everything in my home. Think about that for a minute. Think about all the stuff you have in your home. Think about all the drawers that you have, and they're going to go through every single one of them. They had a team of people down in McBain to do that. They were going to go through my computer and through my vehicles. Think about that for a minute. Think about why the Fourth Amendment is so important to your life. If you have a food inspector, bless her heart, she's a food inspector. I'm glad we have food inspectors. But if a food inspector can initiate a warrant to search your vehicles and your home, right, over a picture, none of these people ever actually saw this ham. They never even contacted this guy. It was just a blurb in this magazine with my name on it, Baker's Green Acres. So that's what got them to do this. This all stemmed from the feral swine thing because we did not just comply with what the state wanted and get rid of all of our animals. That's kind of a different story, but the overall theme here is you have a government that is out of control. They're totally out of control, and they're more out of control at the local level than they are at the state level, right? And so, as I said, I really wanted to stay out of this. I mean, we have an election coming on. I didn't really want to be involved. I got things to do. And these people are, you know, you want to stay away from them. They're not people who produce anything. And to me, they're very boring. They're pencil pushers and paper shufflers, and I just don't like being around them. They produce nothing, never have. Most of them are just educated people that, I don't know, but I prefer to stay away from them. But they came after me this time. So I feel as though I need to get involved here, and I need to make these videos. I need to use my First Amendment rights to inform people of what's going on. Because if you are informed, these cockroaches, and I'm not saying all bureaucrats are. We need bureaucrats, as I've said. We need people to make sure things are done on time and the bills are paid and the papers are shuffled and put correctly so we can look back at them. But a lot of them, they shouldn't even be in place. They have nothing to do. So they do things like this. Okay, anyway, I'm using my First Amendment because I think you all need to know. And it's going to make a guy like this, this little fella right here, Jim Patton, Traverse City, Michigan. There's his phone number. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you contact him and get the straight story on this. Because, of course, they're going to say that I'm making this up. So you might want to call him. You might even want to stop by his house and ask him personally. And see if we can't get guys like this to think a little bit before they infringe on our constitutional rights. And that's what this is about. I want to let you know that that ham was not served. It was there was no money transacted in that ham. The guy's a friend of mine, basically. And as far as I know, the ham has not even been cut into at this point. I really don't know. But you want to talk about destroying relationships with customers. The state is expert at it. They're absolutely expert. I had a good living. I had a good business going. But because state agencies do things like this, and I blame them because this guy he's an adult, and he should know better. But we have a fall-safe in place, and that's our Attorney General. And our Attorney General, at this point, feels it's his job to protect this type of vermin, right? That's the problem. So we have a situation going on right now that is the same as what happened a few years ago. It's just different players, and there's different pieces on the board, okay? So that's why I'm doing this, and I'm going to keep doing this because the Attorney General that we have right now, Bill Schuette, would like to be your next governor. And I, for one, don't think it's a good idea. I really don't think it's a good idea because he's shown his true colors. He is all about protecting the big guys that do the bad things that we all don't like, the pollution and all the things, I don't need to go through them. And he protects them, but then the agencies that come after us, there's no protection for us. Absolutely none. He just sits on his hands. It's worse than having a bad sheriff because this is state level people, and he is where we recourse. He is that point. And I'm 10 minutes. I'm going to make another one here right quick because I have some other information that I need to get out.